Another day, another tank replica pack. But today, we're actually going to be looking at tanks that are not based in the real world, but instead based on a game called Valkyria Chronicles. So, for the ones that don't know Valkyria Chronicles, it is a kind of like a turn-based strategy game where, yeah, there's a lot of different tank designs, and a bunch of these have been replicated by GP222. And he sent it to me for, submission to a pack. And there really is like a bunch of them, and they really are quite beautiful, but they are generally like very under armored and overgunned, so I'm not sure how good the performance of them in battle is gonna be. But I'm still gonna give some of them for a quick spin. And yeah, let's get right into it. So here you can actually see like over just how many details there are in these. Like the plates are like different heights and all that stuff. And well, this one doesn't have those shields. He actually made a bunch of variants, including ones that have the shields. So for example here, you can see the shields, the paint job on here. Look at those details on those lines. Very, very well done. Very detailed. All props goes to GP from all the builds. And yeah, actually just let's get started with just the most simple variant, the Gallon Light Tank FC. So this is really just an early war interwar style light tank with actually surprising amounts of firepower. You get a 75mm gun with 60mm of armor penetration. But the armor protection is a mere 30mm. And this is going to be the case with a lot of these tanks. They all can pretty much penetrate themselves, and AI is going to be aiming better than me, sadly. So I do expect to lose a bunch of tanks when we are taking these for a spin. But performance is not really something that matters much. I really enjoy just the looks of the tanks, especially seeing them like go forward in a big group like this. It honestly looks amazing. But yeah, there you can see Gallon light tanks. These GC and FC both have the same gun, so it is no wonder that they will just burn through everything. Like if our allied tanks will get a chance to shoot first, they will just knock out one of these tanks as well, just as easily. That one is already dead. So these guns don't have amazing elevation, so getting the gun on target is harder than you think. You can see right here. Yep. Nope. You're gonna chance to fire another shot. And he's gonna get a shot on target maybe even before me. Yep. Yep, that is basically what I expect with these tanks. Their combat performance will not be very good with their profile and lack of armor protection, but again, we don't really care about that. We're talking about looks here for all these things. So, this is the FC. We also have the GC, which has different paint job and different paneling here on the side. Instead of the hull, it has instead of the turret, it has the hull protection. There's a shielded FC, which both has the hull and the turret. Again, a different paint job. Then we got an elite shielded GC, which was again both the turret and the hull, but it also has track armor protection. So this one actually gets a little bit more bang for your buck, because the armor protection from the tracks is actually going to be there. You can actually check your track protection by checking the thickness of the tracks. So this one will actually give you 10mm of protection on the tracks here. So instead of 25mm, it's going to be 35 on the hull. And the 30 is going to be 40mm on this part of the hull up there. But again, it's not going to be too much, and generally, it's not going to be enough, is it? So there's also a shielded GC, which is basically the same, but without the turret armor. Well, the track armor. And then we're going to go over to some tank destroyers, actually. the GC and FC. And we're gonna again take out the FC. So this one is a bunch heavier, so we're gonna have less tanks on our side, but the tanks that we do have get an elongated 75mm gun, which has a bit more penetration, and we will be getting more armor protection, which might be able to save us, which would be very, very nice. But, of course, the only way to find that out is to take them into battle. And I really just love all the details on these designs. So, like, for example, on the back here, you can see, like, this kind of radiator design, exposed heatsink. And that's something the real tanks on Valkyria Chronicles had as well. They were all designed with those radiators because they had a different kind of fuel source in that game, which required a lot of heat dissipation to work. And yeah, those little details are very, very nice. I'm probably even not gonna be able to get a shot up hurry up that goes in a defilade. That's alright. We're kinda all just charging each other here. It's kinda cool. This thing's turning is not the best by quite a margin, so that's also that. And the gun's stuck on the ridge line there. And now we're gonna get overrun. But no, I'm not even mad at this. I got to kill one. That's good enough for me. Oh. Maybe you'll be able to survive here for a little longer. No, that's the sand. He's pushing me, so I'm gonna retreat further. No, sir. Go away. Ah, okay, my gun is not elevating at all. And he's gonna outrun me, actually. He's gonna get a side shot on me. Oh, I'm even damaging my engine here. Over-revving it. That's not good. Sir. Can I talk about your Lord and Savior, the 75mm main gun? Yes? No? Okay, I was not allowed to talk about it. Gun. Tanks here will not be the best in performance. Especially with the gun elevation being as slow as it is, the AI has a pretty big advantage because I think they're not as limited by the gun elevation for some reason, which is actually kind of interesting to look at. So other than that, we have the GC, which has the side skirt armor again, but other than that, these changes are entirely visual. And with that, we're going to actually be moving on towards the Imperial Tanks. So there's a bunch of Imperial light tanks here. We're going to take the most default variant out first. This is actually a very big tank. It is one of the biggest tanks in the pack. The Spider being a medium tank for the Imperials as well. That one is actually going to be smaller than this one. And then it has this machine gun turret in the front, which I really like the looks of, to be honest. It is very, very high detailed on this one. And yeah, the gun here is actually a 66mm gun, so it is not as powerful as the 75 on the Gallant tanks. But it's still pretty punchy, and will not struggle taking out any of these tanks if I can actually manage to hit one. But at least the gun responsiveness is much better for the Imperial tank than for the Gallant tank, so there is a big advantage there actually. I am going to not push over that ridgeline because that would be a mistake. That's already dead. That's a miss shot. That's better. And now I'm gonna flank to my left. Do note that even though the gun is more responsive, the technology for the Gallant tanks is actually lagging behind those of the... the Imperial tanks are lagging behind for that of the Gallant tanks, because the Gallant tanks have, at least have, like, twin transmission, but the Imperial tanks only got the, clutch braking, which means that their turning is a bit poorer in comparison. We're still doing pretty good though, all things considered. Look at that shots on that turret. I'm surprised that this thing is still alive. And hello, sir. How are you doing? Please eat another shell. Thank you. Those are all dead. I think that's not normal. Is it just me, or is that not normal? Still aiming too low. Wow, I lost to a tank that was upside down. Damn. Oh, I can't win all of them. It's whatever. So here's the shielded version of the Imperial light tank. And you can really just look at those details. This paint job, the markings, very, very highly detailed. And the shield skirts on these sides just look very, very, very good. But again, it's going to be the exact same performance as the other one. So I'm not going to be taking it out straight away. And here we got the Elite one, which has a little bit of track armor, protecting the side sponsons pretty much. Doing a little protection there, pretty nice. And we got the Shielded Elite one as well, which again gets the side armor skirts. And this one has a slightly different paint job. And other than that, it's pretty much still the same tank. So we're actually going to move on to the Imperial Medium Tank, which is so heavy that I will only be able to get 2 of them, sadly. But what it does bring down in numbers, it brings up in armor. So this actually has a frontal hull that should be able to withstand some of those 75mm gunshots. And its firepower is upgraded to a 77mm gun, allowing it to penetrate up to 71mm of armor. So this one should give us some decent experiences. And we already are one-upped by the terrain, which already killed 1 shielded Galleon light tank. That is honestly astonishing. And look at this little flag as a detail. So that's actually a radio mount that has this little flag on the top of it. Maybe with different colors. And this looks very, very cool. This one actually has 3 machine gun turrets, one in the back here as well, which I really, really like the look of. And those were actually very important to have before. And look at how the shell bounced off, actually. Wow. That was looking really interesting. Okay, that's one. He's burning, but not dead. Oh, is he dead? Okay, no, that looks dead. Next is gonna be this guy on the left. Oh, sir. And goodbye. 3 tanks over there. There's one over there. And terrain skilled all of them. I'm not sure what's going on with these tanks and why they're dying to terrain. I've had a few of them do this as well earlier, actually. So it is really weird to see what these are all dying to. See how high velocity my gun is. Roughly there. No, that's undershot by quite a margin, actually. At this point, it's dispersion that I'm looking at. He might be already dead, actually, because one of them did get killed by terrain. Let's go check out this one. See if we can get a victory against the upside down tanks this time. If anybody has actually like any clue what's going on here, I would love to know that. And for the people actually that didn't notice that, the suspension here, look at the details there as well. Those are like Ken-made bogey suspensions on the more Italian style. And yeah, I really love the details that went into these tanks. Got all props go to JP222. he made all of these things, and yeah, as a fellow Valkyria Chronicles fan, I am really happy that he did. That's one more. I guess one might be alive. Okay, there we go. Victory. Alright. Victory achieved against the upside down tanks. Yeah. So this one has the shielded version as well. Can look at all those details that goes into this one. The this little like edges kind of look like it's part of like a tower, really. I really just love that this level of detail went into these things. It's honestly amazing. And we got the elite one with the different pin job again. Really well designed. And we got the shielded one. And oh, that's a light tank elite. Oops, my bad. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. The shielded elite. And lastly, we have two more tanks, the Tank Destroyer and the Tank Destroyer Elite. And this one actually comes with an 85mm gun that almost penetrates 90mm of armor. And it has an even thicker armor protection with 80mm sloped at 50 degrees on the front of the turret, 50 on the side, and 40 on the lower sides. Very thick protection. But with the weight, of course, we're only going to get two of these. Reload's going to be a bit longer, because again, it's going to be a bigger gun. And this one is very obviously inspired by the Jagd Panther. See here the interleaved road wheels, the overall casemate design. It really should be obvious that this design has been based on that one. And it actually gets to have the neutral suspension as well, which is, neutral steering, thanks to the twin transmission. Which is very nice to have. And there should be one of the few tanks that can actually just tank the shots from the enemy straight from the front. And I'm actually struggling to get up this hill, surprisingly. One tank, you can do this. Or not. Oh. I am burning my engine. That is not good. Yeah, I can do in reverse here. That is a bit of a problem. Didn't know that was a thing there. Gun performance does take a bit of a hit. And this guy is possibly going to flank me here. Or not. You're gonna eat a very big tank shell. So this guy's on my left, this guy's on my right as well. This is not ideal. My engine's about to break as well. This is literally the speed at which I can go because there's no second gear. Oh, there is a second gear, but it's not a good second gear. Well, let's restart it real quick and get in a better position straight away. So we don't get into such a defilade position. That will create a bit of a few problems here. We don't want that. He's going there. We'll be going over to the left. And again, the amount of details that go into like these side skirts, let's look at that. There's a little bit of flicker on this one, which is a bit of a bummer, but what you have to do to make a hull shaped like this, can't really escape at least some kind of level of flicker. And we're going to be cogging the left side of the map here. And we are going to be murdering this dude. And we got a fuel leak, actually. Wow. Didn't even know that was modeled into the game. I have to deal with this dude. No, I can't. Can't even deal with that. Did my engine break? Okay, my tank already broke down. That's nice. Yeah, with this numbers and this thing's pretty awful mobility, we are bound to get surrounded. Yep, hello, sir. I'm wondering if I will be able to turn towards you in time for stuff to matter. the least I can do is plant my gun into the side of this thing, hopefully. There we go. They're all three behind me. That is not good. Their engine went bye-bye. Well, at least they got my weak spot. Look at those radiators. Ooh. Oh, there I go. 2 rings on the barrel only. Kind of unimpressive for what is essentially a Yak Panther in Valkyria Chronicles universe. But, you know, the Imperials were kind of similar to Germany in that case, like where they make these prototype tanks that are supposed to be like Wunderwaffe, being really powerful but expensive. And it ended up having them lose the war as well, so I guess it's kind of canon that these are like supposedly really powerful things that don't actually perform all that well. So that's actually really interesting. And yeah, that's really all I got. Very, very nice design. As always, the download is going to be in the description. And actually, we are going to be talking about how to install these again, because there's this little pack that he made for the AI as well, which I'll be packaging together. So one of them is going to be the AI folder, and one of them is going to be the folder for the game, like the things in the game itself, basically the blueprints. So what you want to do is go to Sprocket, go to Properties, then go to Local Files and click Browse. That way you'll get a pop-up, and it looks like this. And you'll see the Sprocket _ data folder. Now you go to Streaming Assets and Blueprints, and you'll have a Vehicles folder, which you can just rename real quick. That's not what I want to do. So rename it by pressing F2, like rename it like Vehicles 2. And this is like your normal stuff, like your Cromwell, LT, BM4M, like that stuff that you'll see here. Mid-war heavies, you'll see your Panther, Blueprint, all that stuff is going to be in here. But you want to rename those to temporarily remove those from the vehicle pool if you just solely want to fight these Valkyria Chronicles tanks. If you don't want to fight solely the Valkyria Chronicles tanks, you simply put the Valkyria Proto tanks into these folders. But if you want to like kind of remove these temporarily and have different things you can fight, like different thematic things, you can just rename this one and grant a new vehicle folder and then paste the contents of the new one in here. And here you can see, like, for example, the Gallon light tanks are going to be into our lights. The early wars, mediums here are going to be, I think, the Imperial Tanks and all that stuff. Mid-war mediums, Imperial medium tanks, and the shielded variant. And yeah, it's a really nice pack to fight. I'll be, again, putting that in there. But the other ones are going to be in your documents, then your My Games folder. Then you are going to go to Sprocket. And then you have the Factions folder. And I'll be having the Valkyria Chronicles pack folder right here with the credits and, of course, all the blueprint files. And after that, you can simply go to like Switch Faction and then select Valkyria Chronicles pack here to start playing with it. And that's it, actually, how to install these. It's really straightforward. It's going to be a zip file containing all of these tanks, and again, the tanks again in a separate folder that you can use as the vehicle folder. And yeah, that's it. Very beautiful pack. Very thematic pack. And one of the most unique ones that I have seen so far. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video as always. And next we're going to go back to actually like real world vehicles. See you in the next one.